es pa' gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luz en cámara, la acción después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y bebe, ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti. Lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and like always now, and a consistent week-to-week basis, is my co-host, Gametime Bryan, is in the house. Sir, what is going on?
Good evening, Primetime. Are we ready to roll? I know I am, brother. We are draft 100%. I'm doing well, man, while watching Elimination Chamber. Yes, the chamber is on. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, Bryan was telling me, I'm like, what channel is this thing on? I'm like, where is it at? And it was like ESPN Plus. I have it. I need to sign in. I have to do a broadcast. I'm like, you know what? All right, I guess that's going to be something for later. But anyways, right now, speaking of later and all this, is their whole theme. You know, the theme you were talking about. There's a possibility of postponing this. So I think the postponing also falls into category with what the theme is, of course, with this. And not just in general. We're not talking about stealing from the league or any kind of idea like that. But just to kind of give a little bit of spruce to this channel, a little bit of different visuals as well, too. So Gametime, I know I'm excited about it as well, too. The NFL draft is coming slowly but surely. I saw you with Mark doing the combine for the past couple of days.
Yeah.
I was in and out of there. But what do you think about watching those guys in the combine? Anything stick out to you? Anything?
Yeah, man. A couple things. CJ Styles is probably out of reach.
Sonny Styles, you know about? Yes.
I mean, Sonny Styles. I'm watching AJ Styles. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sonny Styles. His brother CJ did well too, but Sonny Styles and more importantly, Oregon's own Dylan Thieneman. Again, I really liked him, and everything that he's done at the combine is nothing but skyrocket his value. We were hoping to get him at 20. Will he last at 20? I don't know. Do you like him? Do you not?
Some of the mock drafts that we were doing before, you were getting him later in that first round, maybe possibly second. And then all of a sudden the combine happens. That we were talking about. The combine happens. All of a sudden, these guys, they train for it as well, too. But let's be real. Even if they're training for it, they're still having the athletic ability to be able to pull these things off.
4.37 or something nuts like that. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, him being a former safety just has the body to be able to play linebacker. You had those
Lord
instincts.
Nova, what's up, buddy?
Like Marquise Bell had those. If he had the bigger body, you'd be talking a little bit more about that as well. But when you're talking about Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles, I think they could have been like a Swiss Army knife in the sense of just switching them out. Just what they were having to do in that defense, just the mind. I think what you're talking about when you see those interviews with Christian Parker, where he's talking about that mind, football mind, where that mind works. I totally get it, man.
I mean, Dylan Thieneman. Again, I don't know. Is he your? Like somebody sent me. Joe Damasian Ultra sent me a screenshot. I think it was Ultra who said it. Dallas did not have a formal interview with Thieneman or informal, but he measures up to a T to Cooper DeJean as far as measurables and athleticism. I'm not saying he's as athletic as DeJean, but he's looking everywhere near the part, and I don't know. I feel like Dallas is sleeping on trying to lay low on Thieneman, not to tip their cards. Will they take him at 12? I don't know. Who will be there? There's a chance that they'll be wiped out, and they'll be staring at a McCoy coming off an ACL, right? Or do you reach for a CJ Allen who's not maybe going to be there at 20? It's very interesting times. What we need, Phil, is Ty Simpson to have a great combine. And I turned off the combine. Did he ever work out, everybody? Vinny Hagan, did Ty Simpson ever throw the football?
Well, let me ask you a question. Like, what would be the benefit for him to throw the football? He's already the number 2 quarterback. He's going to become the number 1 quarterback?
He may be number 2.
Is he going to become number 5?
But he's number 2,
but yeah,
bottom of the first round, number 2.
Yeah, but that's not, again, that's I don't think there's any benefit for him coming out to do that. He doesn't become number 1. If anything, he hurts himself and probably drops further back. Like, I would say, I think he played smart.
He wasn't bad. That's not good enough. Vinny says, yes, he did. He wasn't bad. Well, he did throw. Yeah, but once you get into the top 10, now each spot is like millions of dollars.
Yeah, I understand that, but he wasn't going to get there. I don't think he ever. And he could have thrown like the most accurate passes ever. I don't think that was going to change.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know, so I think he wasn't going to go top 10. He wasn't going to go to the top 20.
Dart, right?
I mean, if he's going top 20, it's because he's going to go top 20. There's somebody's going to value him enough.
Yeah, I mean, like Jackson Dart last year. Remember, he really elevated himself at the combine, and what did that mean? Well, he was top 10,
but he
brought back into the first round, right?
Remember, we were originally when he came out with that PFF originally last year. Jackson Dart was in the 6th, 7th round as a projection.
Randy McIntyre was on it early.
Once he became that Senior Bowl and did all that kind of stuff, that's when that stock started to jump up, the combine as well, and then bam, next thing you know, somebody valued him enough to, hey, we got to jump into that first round and pick him up. So I think that's where you're kind of falling in with just Ty Simpson right now. I don't think, I think he's one of those things where, oh man, you know what, we need to go up and get our quarterback. Maybe one of those guys at the end of that beginning of the first round, all those guys that are picking, like who needs a quarterback there? Is Arizona going to be like, okay, we're sitting there at the 2nd round, let's go ahead and jump up back into that first and let's go ahead and get a quarterback. I mean, that would make sense, right? I mean, so yeah. I think it's there. I think he's just right at the trajectory as Jackson Dart, but just doesn't have to try as hard.
Yeah, and Clemente, bleed blue for life, brings up a good point. We could trade back a couple spots and draft Thieneman, then Allen at 20.
See, and then I see some of the drafts where I see like CJ Allen going up early as well too, and so I'm like, oh man, these guys that was maybe our backup plans for later on. If you were to trade back, maybe if you trade back, you'll get CJ Allen and stuff. Now, that seems like a pipe dream as well.
Well, and this is what I want everybody to Clemente.
Yes, Logan, thank you very much. You hit it on the head. I appreciate
GTA
that.
6, baby.
That's exactly what it is. The inside, you'll see the 3 layouts that I have right now is kind of, that's the theme. That is the theme there, of course. So great job, man. Great job.
Bleed blue for life. I'm excited to see Christian Park, what he does with Elijah Clark, Justin Barron, and Zion Childress. Again, along with Maris Leofau, right? These are names that we liked.
Yeah.
I know we liked Marist. I liked Elijah Clark coming out of Syracuse along with Justin Barron. Zion Childress kind of rose throughout the process last year.
Yeah.
This is where I think that there's more pieces here than what people may realize, to Clemente's point. You know what I mean? I think we might have more pieces that maybe Christian Parker maybe covets and did not flourish like nobody did under Matt Eberflus. Is that possible, though?
I mean, yes. Oh, definitely. I think in general, when you have a coach that knows how to use you, when you're already scouting you in the sense of why we're moving you to the outside linebacker position, saying the challenges that you're going to have. I mean, yeah, you're not going to just go out there and become, this is where you're at, and you're going to shine as hell. You're going to be all pro. No, you got to work your ass off on it because it's going to have to be instant stuff. But as you were talking about draft, I want to come back here because Comic Flick Fusion says that tight end from Oregon should go top 10 and Jeremiah Love. Let's talk about those because I think that's a solid thing. We're looking at the tight end positions. We've talked about this. I know Ultra Cowboys talked about the tight end position as well. To me, obviously, and I know to you, top tight end in this draft is going to obviously be your Oregon, the tight end, and then obviously the combine that he just runs a 4.4 flat.
Sadiq,
that was just ridiculous to watch him get his ass up and go. Some of these guys, sometimes I'm watching them run, and I'm thinking, okay, they don't seem to be running too fast, and then they run the fast. I'm like, no, they were booking it. Okay, they just do it very well. And so where do you see that tight end, Sadiq? Where do you see him landing now that he's put on this type of performance?
Well, I've had him early on in the process. I was like, he would be a good fit for the Birds. I don't know how they see him. I don't know. I'm only guessing here. But I do have them linked. I do have them linked to Isaiah Likely out of Baltimore, who we all like, to the Eagles. They may still bring back, per Linda, Dallas Goedert. That's possible, because I don't think Dallas Goedert's market is as big as Dallas thinks. And I think maybe Dallas might be better off staying with the Birds. So possibly Sadiq, just because they're so thin at the position. I was kind of thinking you could get an unbelievable offensive lineman at that spot, especially with the future of their offensive line. That's just me. I would say offensive line, edge rusher, or Sadiq. And if Sadiq's on the board, he's going to be hard to overlook.
Yeah, Jimbo, I would agree. I think Jimbo's right as well, too. Eagles would need Sadiq to block. That's the weakest part of his game. Definitely, I would agree. Still, not a terrible blocker, though. I mean, you think about what Oregon does in the sense of the run game. Usually,
he's raw, right?
He's raw. He's raw. He can be taught.
I don't know that he can't block. He just hasn't excelled in it.
Well, I don't think he was asked as much when he was when he brought in there. I think you had two amazing wide receivers that were on the outside, and of course not ones that you're going to have in this draft type of thing, but ones that they use very well. I think that's the distinguished thing right there. Jesse says Phil Bryan love what?
Pregnon hits the offensive guard out of Oregon. Yeah, I've been looking at
I haven't been watching. I haven't been going offensive line really at all. And I think that's that's probably my Achilles heel when it comes to to this draft. That's why it's just
Emmanuel Pregnon. Let's do a little scatter report since he did the super chat. Thank you, Jesse. Thanks, brother. 6'5", 318. He's a redshirt senior, Phil, out of Oregon. Pro Football Focus has him around the 41st ranked player. So we're talking top of the second round for the Giants, because they're top 5 of the second round.
It's crazy. I haven't seen him. That's why it's like.
Well, they have him behind Ione from Penn State, and in front of Chase Besantis of Texas A&M, who I like Chase Besantis too. There's a lot of guys that I like, to be honest with you. Interesting draft, Phil. Now that we're definitely going, how things turn on a dime.
That's what I'm saying. I thought he was a later. Virginia. I thought he was more of a later type of thing, but I guess he's done enough. But that's pretty cool.
He's Emmanuel Pregnon. Again, he's a beast. Again, it's hard to tell sometimes. Just look at all the Ohio State players, Phil, that are. How many are going to go in a top 10? 4?
Dude, they could be. Yeah, they could be 4.
And
3 to 4.
They didn't win a national title this year, so that just goes to show you.
I think another one.
I think have good players don't mean you win necessarily.
I think another one that's like that's really unheard of.
Yes, I love Freeling, Vinny.
The one that really is unheard of when it comes to. Oh, sorry, man. I got my kids distracting me, asking me questions.
Yeah, that's all good.
So go. So, sorry, like right in the middle of everything. I don't even know where I was going. We're talking about offensive tackle. I don't even remember what we're talking about anymore.
We're talking about Pregnon.
Okay. Well, that's the thing is, when I've been looking at it, I've been looking mostly through the first round. I haven't been looking past like anything second and third round. Yeah, I wonder why. I've been looking at mostly safety, like we would drop back, drop back a little bit and pick up some picks. But like again, I think Jerry points it out, and I hate to say that he's right in a lot of sense, but we know that if you start, you can be wiped out by the time you're at 12. So you trading back could definitely wipe yourself out as well too. So I mean, you have to balance it very, very well. I'm interested to see who they believe is their guys, because we might like somebody, but it might not fit their system. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're kind of learning is that
Exactly. That's very hard to do, guys.
Yeah,
It's
some of the
very
medical,
hard.
some of the medicals and stuff like that we come out, like we hear about the defensive end from Miami, Messidor, but you still see him when you see him. I see him in some of these mocks. They're going early as well. He's going a little bit earlier now, and I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting. Or we're just pushing all the medicals aside. I think that's something when you go in the mock, and that may not actually show when it comes to the draft itself, because that's where you've seen some guys that, oh yeah, this guy's gonna drop, this guy's gonna be right here, and then all of a sudden they start dropping and dropping and dropping. And then you can't really predict some of that stuff. Obviously, did McCoy run?
I don't know. I don't know if he ran or not, everybody. I'd be lying if I said I did. I don't know.
Yeah, I was watching here and there. I would see obviously it's in the beginning. I saw the defensive line guys doing their thing. Those guys were booking it, man. Big dudes were going. I'm like, dear Lord, like it is. Yeah, it's an interesting football league and where it's going. Especially with these big dudes, man. They were definitely flying down the field. And then just seeing some of the linebackers, running backs, it's kind of like all over the place. But, I think what's kind of funny is that I saw a picture, and the ones that don't get any really love is the offensive linemen, right? Like everybody kind of starts clearing the room. It's like day 3 of Comic-Con or something like that. You get the, it's like, you're like, man, nobody's around. Everybody's already traveling back home. Like, what's going on? If offensive tackle falls to us at 12, look out. Man, that's what I'm saying. There's some guys there that, like, it'd be hard to say no to. But obviously there's some ones there, too, that could be, like, if you trade back, there's going to be some raw talent there. Like, they talk about Fano and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you're like, okay, a lighter tackle. It's interesting to see how he's going to develop. I heard Brian Broad is talking about that's kind of his Achilles heel as well too, as we speak about those, and that he kind of just doesn't do well when it comes to evaluating those lighter tackles, and I totally understandable. It's totally understandable. I think it's just like corner. I mean, it's a 50-50 kind of chance. I don't even know if it's 50-50 really when it comes to corner, because I feel like, when you're looking at this, let's talk about the guy that's obviously, when you look at a lot of the drafts and you look at the Cowboys. Delane is the corner that is definitely a lot of the times mocked to us. What do you think about that prospect?
Well, Mansour Delane. I don't know if McCoy was fully healthy, if he would be the number 1 linebacker. Corner. Sorry, I got people here watching the Elimination Chamber. So they don't care that I'm lying.
Thank you, Rhonda. What's up, Rhonda?
But, so...
I know, Jesse.
I like Delane. I do like Delane.
Well,
he's my number 1, but I don't love him. I don't love him.
Amen. See, here's the thing. When you look at him and you watch his game, I love how he's on the hip of the receiver. I love that he's right there. You like everything about it, the game there, but again, the size, being 5'11" there, you're like, eventually is that going to come up? Is it worthy of that first? And again, I always think that corner to me is always the biggest gamble. But again, I just you got to really know what you're getting there, and but I like the tape.
Well, here's the deal. Our new assistant coach, Ryan Smith, recruited him to Virginia Tech. So there is ties with the organization. Listen, I think we need a corner. I think you guys have heard me talk enough about wanting to address these positions in free agency. But you can't do everything in free agency. You're just not going to be able to do everything in free agency. So it'll be interesting, Phil, to see how they approach free agency. We're hearing rumors with what's his name? Their linebacker for the Eagles.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean. Yeah. I don't know how you guys feel. I like always taking. You get a little insight on the team you're coming from. Plus, he does add value, but he's often injured. He's a smaller guy. Rhonda, always here to support America's team. Thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you very much. Again, I did the update today, and I cannot show any of the chat again. So I think they need to do an update and for this to start working again. I was like, oh, of course, right when I do the update, I
gotta
put
free
more
up
bugs
some
in
more
there.
space on my computer in order to even get.
Thank
to
you,
all
Rhonda.
that.
I really appreciate it. You got the $5 super chat. I wish I could parade it for everybody to see. So I really, honestly appreciate the support. Especially with the support when you're talking about that, when you're hearing Jerry talk, hearing Steven talk about these different situations that are happening. Of course, they're flipping the switches on a couple of contracts today, talking about restructuring on the 3 defensive linemen. So it's going to be interesting to open up some space. You know, I understand, and I'm with Momo in a lot of the sense where the free agent class isn't the greatest. The draft class isn't the greatest. But like you gotta, you don't get to pick that. You kind of have to take what you get. I'm interested still to see some of these guys if they're going to be signed by their teams or they're going to be released to become free agents. You talked about the 10, the exclusive tag, the franchise tag, all that stuff with the 2 first-round draft picks. We were talking about their options. One thing I heard about as well too, I don't know if you've heard this, but I saw it somewhere. I heard there's a possibility that the Dallas Cowboys put a second-round tender on TJ Bass. Have you heard anything about TJ?
TJ Bass, yes. Let me look at it. Yeah, but, basically they could match. If not, we get 2 second-round picks.
Wow, Clemente was already saying about it. He says Bass has a second-round tender, but who could Dallas actually trade for a third-rounder in primetime? Do you think a team would sign George Pickens and give up their 2 future? I think if someone if they believe that they have everything in place except for the guy that they need in that position. I pointed it out. I think Ultra pointed it out that, a team like Buffalo, I'm not saying like, oh, yeah, will it be 2 later first round? Well, I mean, that's the only type of team that you're going to get. I mean, the teams in the front aren't going to probably give you that because they're more than one piece away. You have to have that desperateness involved along with the skills. Like, okay, that is my guy that I can go pay. Because look at Buffalo. I mean, how much have they got tied up anywhere else? I mean, not a whole lot of contracts tied up, so they could do that. Now, could they also give it? Yeah, I think there's teams out there that could do it. Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville is one of those teams that where's their weapon on? Where's their main guy? Who sells their jerseys other than their quarterback? And so they need pieces as well too. So yeah, I mean, I think there's always a possibility, but I think realistically. It's a little bit of slap in the face for Cowboy fans when you hear that, like, you're a second-round draft pick and everything. Screw that, man. I'm not doing that at all. Yeah. The fact that we got him for a third, I think that was the steal. And, they were talking their shit then. Now nobody's talking their shit. It's kind of funny, man. It's all reversed, but nobody remembers the crap that they were talking before that. So.
Yeah, basically, it's a $5.8 million second-round tender. It's not 2. I was wrong. It's not 2 second-round picks. Basically. He could sign an offer sheet with anybody he wants. But if Dallas chooses not to match that offer, then they'll receive a second-round pick.
That's for Bass, right? That's for Bass. I think it's a great move. I think it's a great move.
Yeah.
Now, and you talked about Audrey.
5.8 if we keep him. So it's not bad either.
What do you think in the tender market should be for the kicker? What do you think Brandon should be getting? Do you think he should be getting a first-round tender? Do you think it's a second-round tender you should be putting on him?
I would probably do the second-round tender based on what they offered him.
Yeah.
First round is an $8.1 million guarantee. Again, I don't know that I would do that.
Clemente poking at you. He goes, but Primetime Phil, if a team takes George Pickens and we get those picks, they're capital for Archie Manning.
There you go. Arch Manning.
That whole sweepstake is a little different. A year or so passes and he has a whole season. You're like, okay, well maybe we won't, trade our whole future for him.
Right.
But anyways, going back to this, when we're talking about the draft, you're talking about the combine, you're seeing these guys work out. Obviously some of them, a lot of them, helping their stock. Have you seen anything that's actually they've hurt their stock? Is there somebody maybe going a little bit slower, or like you're saying, you're thinking maybe a Ty Simpson that's maybe hurting his stock by not going out there and seeing as much?
But I think the lack of quarterback.
Yeah,
I
dude.
think
What
the
is
lack of quarterback this year, and I listen.
what is
I know
Dante
you're a
Moore
big
doing,
Mendoza fan.
dude? What is
Yeah, Dante Moore.
that was a stupid
again,
decision.
I have no idea, man. I have no idea what Dante Moore is thinking. The only thing I could think of, Phil, is that he don't want to play for the Jets. That's the only thing I could think
Well, he's
of.
gonna get.
But
It's gonna
you
be
gotta
right
look at
back
your-
the next year.
You got to look at your family, number one. Number two, the quarterback market next year is way stiffer. Way stiffer, in my opinion. Not that he won't be up near the top, but he's not the biggest guy. He's not going to have the strongest arm. He's just a good quarterback. You know, I know, and you know how that works, Phil. Sometimes traits get elevated to the top. Sometimes not even in the right way. But
And I hate to
Yeah,
say
big
this,
mistake.
especially as a Duck alum. Like, yeah, he's a
It's
poor.
hard
He's a,
for
he's,
Phil,
he's, he's a poor man's Cam Ward. I mean, like that's basically what I look at. I mean, he doesn't have the strength.
that's a
of Cam.
good dude. That Cam Ward's a hell of an analogy for him.
Yes,
Yes, that is a good analogy.
Like I mean, nothing against him or anything like that, but I mean, he's not going to be the main reason why your team wins. But I mean, obviously he could contribute to the loss though. I mean, he'll pull out an interception out of nowhere, you know, as well too. But I mean, I think he'll become a really good leader to a team if he's given that opportunity. So
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of crazy how he did that. Yeah, well, poor man's Cam.
And listen, if I was the Raiders, I would take Mendoza too. I would, you know,
Yes,
I would
dude.
take him too.
I'm just telling you, man.
But-
How many Mendoza jerseys as a Raider are going to sell?
Yeah, I mean, as starting as a face of a franchise, that's the right pick. But I've been a little critical of Mendoza.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And you have all the right to be. I mean, it's not like
It's not that I don't think he's a good guy, or I don't. I don't know. We'll see. He's a winner, right? So
Well, I mean,
that's
okay,
what we'll go with.
So let's put it all into perspective as well too. If when Mendoza
Oscar.
gets picked, is the Raiders' season turned around? Like even if they go out with free agency, was able to pick every single free agent that they wanted,
I think-
and nobody
I think
fought
it
them.
could.
You think they're in a contention type of thing? That's what type
Well,
of
not contention.
yeah.
but it's
See,
something
that's what I'm saying. Like
No,
it's-
win maybe 7 games.
Yeah,
something like that.
that's why I say I think that people need to calm down next year when they're not doing as great and they're like, see, Mendoza sucks ass. And
Well, if they were smart, they would trade Max Crosby. Sorry, this is a rebuild, basically from the ground up. Yeah, you don't have a lot of offensive talent. You have one, maybe a couple, but one main piece. If you were a Raider fan that you could trade, I know you love Max, but wouldn't you rather get a couple first-round picks or whatever you can get?
to start building that.
Coming off a meniscus, that would make more sense. Go get you 3 pieces instead of the 1 or 2 real good pieces. I don't know.
I would agree, Jimbo. I think he did. I think that team definitely, he was the main leader, kind of pulling that wagon, and I just hear him talk as well too. I think he's definitely ready for that next step into the NFL. I think the Raiders are a better fit for him than the Jets would have been. So I think he's very lucky that whole thing kind of transpired the way that it did. But I'm interested to see how the rest of the quarterbacks kind of fall. Is there a team that does jump back into that first round too a little bit early? Let me get ahead of some of these guys to go ahead and pick that other quarterback. Are we going to trade back, grip some value? It's there. I've heard Rodriguez, obviously the linebacker from Texas Tech, also obviously mocked to us, but I've seen that as early as 20. Oh, they get this and they get them at 20. I'm like, man, that's
I don't see that.
yeah, no, I don't see that either as well too. But that was kind of like,
I
maybe
know
if you're trading
PFF
back
has
and
him
getting
as
it.
their 84th best player. I think.
Ex-quarterback. I think that's what's kind of crazy when you look at what his career
Yeah.
was. He was an ex-quarterback, and sometimes you can just read football. I mean, that's how it is. When you see the linebackers or the whole line start to shift over, you instinctively move into that direction. Or while you instinctively moving, you're keeping your eyes into the backfield and seeing what's going on and being able to quickly change direction. I think that's kind of what elevates him and some of these linebackers as well. I mean, you got some of the 2 linebackers at the top are just straight up, see ball, get ball, and I think they're great at that. So I'm interested to see where, in the sense, they get a linebacker if they are able to acquire one in this draft.
Yeah, agreed. Again, we'll know more right before the draft. We'll know what they have done in free agency. We will know exactly the direction of this football team. Or is it going to be a situation where we go into the draft and we try and fill all of our whole, and then, like we draft the best available and then we come out and we fill it in with the bottom dwellers. I'm telling you, we need to bring 4 bodies in before the draft. They don't have to be, I don't agree with Wade. You can't just, there's only so much money out there, but you need to get a couple expensive guys and a couple mid-range guys.
Right now,
and
I'm
then
fixing your
go in the
camera.
draft.
Right now, I'm fixing your camera so you can just keep talking.
What's up, good people? Mark Combs, how are you, brother? But yeah, Arturo Gomez, what's up, man? Are you real, Joe Boo? Joe Boo's real, man. Joe Boo is real. West Virginia Country Boys in the house. You all ready to go or what?
Yep, I got you now. I got you fixed. There you go.
Yeah.
I had to move you over a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, again, as much as I think this is what happens with me, you start to get some pet cats in that sense of your draft as you're looking at film, as you're looking at some of these guys in the combine. I think this is kind of what hurts a little bit when you see some of these guys go again. We've talked about to opposite teams, but as you've gone through this draft process, as you're picking up more names in your head, are some guys in the back of your head, guys that a little bit of a favorite here? Any names that kind of stick out at you other than the common ones of Caleb Downs and all that kind of stuff?
The favorites. If I had to pick a favorite, you named them. I like Jacob Rodriguez. He's a favorite of mine. There's an edge rusher that I don't know. Everybody is kind of overlooking. I like Zion Young a lot out of Missouri. I don't know what you think of him just because of his size, his length. He can get off the ball. He's not just a little guy. But how would he fit in Christian Parker's scheme? I don't know. I want to talk about some of these safeties because you brought them up, right? Who are the safeties that you like? Because I'm a big Dylan Thieneman guy. I don't know I don't know what they would see with McNeil Warren. Would Christian Parker like a McNeil Warren? I think a lot's going to have to do with.
He looked pretty good in the combine as well too. I mean,
yeah, I know
his tape looked pretty good. There's some guys that I've come across. When I see the guys later on in the draft, you can see just in their body of work of why they're later on in the draft, but not terrible safeties. I mean, I was watching I was watching Bud Clark the other day, from TCU. I was watching some of his stuff. I think we talked about Cole Wisniewski.
Wisniewski.
Yeah. Sorry, I always mess that one up. But then we were talking about the South Cal guys that the 2 safeties that they have. Those guys, the Bishop, I think Bishop Fitzgerald, and hold on, let me see, I have it here.
I like Kamara Ramsey too, safety out of USC. I like Ramsey.
There you go.
I really don't have too many. That's why I really love. The best player in the draft, is Downs. I would love to have Styles. Downs, Styles, I'd be okay with.
And you're not, in no point do you believe that type of guy is worth, is he worthy of taking those 2 picks and trying to get up to get him?
I was talking to Mark about that. Let's just assume we don't. Okay, let's assume we don't trade and stick and draft 12 and 20. My question to you is, would you be more happy, Phil, with Delane and Cassius Howe, right, or Messidor, either one of those, right? I don't think we're in the market for Messidor. I think it'll be a Cassius Howe or someone like that, or a CJ
Parker.
Allen if he's there. I hope not. But would you be more happy with that, right? Or would you be happy with a Caleb Downs and let's say Jacob Rodriguez, or
I think the combination. That's the thing about it. I think the combination is there. I mean, whether you're talking about like that, I would love that. That would be like an ultimate dream one, where you're trading with Cleveland and doing that whole switch around. I really
Well,
do.
that's what
I
I'm
really do
saying.
like
Everybody goes, you can't trade down. Well, okay, guys, just listen to what I'm saying
it. Jesse,
here.
I agree in the sense, and that's usually what happens in that first one. I always try to pick there, unless you're trying to trade back only a couple. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a combination of a couple of things you could have done, could do. I mean, you could stick and pick, and hopefully your safety is maybe your Oregon safety, and then you're getting a good pass rusher in the beginning part. So I mean, I could see a bunch of different combinations with these first
if
two.
you trade down, I mean, listen, if I get Caleb Downs, that's unbelievable. I don't think people realize if you get Caleb Downs, you give up 12 and 20, and you get 39.
I would take it. I would do it in a heartbeat if I
And
knew
you
that I
get
could
Caleb
get
Downs, and then you
Caleb
take
Browns.
the best player at 39.
But I don't even know if he
You know
lasts
what-
to 6. I don't even think he lasts
You
to
could
6
be looking
almost.
at a Colton Hood out of Tennessee. You could be looking at, you could be looking. Jacob Rodriguez will be there. There's an outside chance that Messidor is there. I know they have him ranked rather high, but
I agree, Jesse.
I just wish people would be a little bit more open to it, because it wouldn't cost you as much as you would think.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trading back to be able to pick up a guy like a Rodriguez, and you're not, I want to get my pass rusher in that spot. Like, no, I mean, now are you going to tell me their pass rusher is going to be the same between 20 and 40? Hell yeah. You're probably, I would probably say it's very there's a big chance that Cassius Howe and another pass rusher that's within that end of that second round is probably within the same category. So I mean, I don't see that as a big problem sending back, because I think that level is from 20 to maybe 50 is almost pretty equal.
Right, exactly. And all right, now that was one scenario I would like better than sticking at 12 and 20. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that scenario. But even more intriguing is maybe, drafting, let's say they don't get Nakobe Dean, right? Or let's say drafting, if the Styles drops to 12, boom, that's the pick.
Yeah.
Maybe even a C.J. Allen at 12.
I think it might be something like that. I'm thinking it might be like that.
And then you could trade 20 to the Dolphins for Minkah Fitzpatrick, and you get a second and a third round pick. So now you're walking out with, let's say, C.J. Allen and Minkah Fitzpatrick, and then you get a 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see what's wrong with that either. Because now that 2, you're going to get Jacob Rodriguez, and a 3, you can get whatever you want. Mm-hmm. So now you're walking out with C.J. Allen, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Jacob Rodriguez, and whoever you think you want with that number 4. You can go a Drew Waller and get your quarterback or whatever you want. I mean, I don't care.
I think there's somebody's got to. I think there's somebody's got to be sitting there at 20, tempting. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that's tempting somebody to want to come in there.
Ty Simpson. I mean, there are 2 teams. I don't believe that the Rams are going to be in the market for Simpson at 13. I think they want Simpson because they have the 29th pick, I believe. Rams have 13, and then they have 20.
Coyote, I will take that. For all the times that my internet like that, if it's coming in that clear, I'll take it. I'll take it.
What's that?
No, he's talking. He goes, look, Primetime Phil streaming 1080p at 60 frames per
60
second.
hertz. Yeah. So I don't know.
Exactly, Dan.
Ask,
yeah, I would, and that would be. I can't say that it's not a tempting offer. I'd very, very tempted to take that, especially with 2 guys like that.
I want more guys. I want more picks.
It's raining men. Hallelujah.
Okay. Again, how excited are you going to be with Delane? All right, best case would be Delane, and let's say they get Nakobe Dean, right? So let's say Delane and Cassius Howe. Let's just put it out there. Let's say you get Delane and Cassius Howe. You have that. How excited are you?
I'm probably about 70%, 75%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what if I say, all right, let's say it's Delane, and and like I said, and let's say you trade down. Let's say we pick Dylan Thieneman at 12. He loves Dylan Thieneman. Let's just say he loves.
I'll give you a name here. Like if you're
we've
talking.
already gotten to Kobe Dean.
Yeah.
We've already gotten, other pieces. We draft Thieneman at 12.
Okay.
Because Delane's gone off the board.
Okay.
And
okay, so
now
if you trade back,
trade our 20,
I
and
like
we
it.
drop down to 29.
Okay.
And we
okay.
get, and then we get other pieces. We get Rams second and third.
So when I look at the guys, when you're talking about Cassius Howell and everything like that, you know who I get more excited about that nobody talks about? Heights, Romello Heights from Texas Tech. I am like, and I talked about Bailey. Let's just be real. This is months before where I said I like David Bailey. This is the guy, and you're talking about how he's the best one out of this class,
Heights.
which is very understandable. Romello Heights was the one that really shined to me in the playoffs and everything. I'm like, man, who is this guy? And I don't think he's getting the proper respect that he deserves. And I would be okay with bringing a guy like that on. But yeah, tell me if you have a scouting report on him, please let me know.
Well, he's 6'3", 240. He's a senior. He's 20. He'll be 25, so a little bit of an older guy. So if that
like a Messador without the injury stuff, though.
Yeah. He played 14 games, 598 defensive snaps. Run defense snaps 202. He had 9 sacks, 42 quarterback hurries, 11 hits. Again. He's played a lot of football. He played 12 games in 23, 12 games in 24, 14 in 25. He's got 17 sacks over his 3-year career. 92.5 Pro Football Focus. The pass rush grade is a 92.6. He gets to the quarterback. Run defense, 65.6.
Yeah, that's where the improvement needs to happen. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as your outside linebacker in a 3-4 type of defense like this, where your EZ is on the other side, I would like that combo, And you already traded back, you're getting a linebacker, you already got, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if you're doing that, I just think there's a combination of guys that, and Jimbo, he did. I mean, Heights was just balling out where David Bailey was, and it probably was because Bailey was getting a lot of the attention. But Heights again, like he was winning his one-on-ones and stuff. So I think that was impressive to watch. Cassius Howell, I said, I think that's a good prospect. I think he needs to put on some weight.
He doesn't stop the run.
No, he doesn't. And so,
but I mean, I think there's the way they're going to run their line. It may not be a big deal.
But they need to be able to hold the edge, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean. I don't even know. I'm trying to find out if they even met formally with Romello Heights. I know they met with Scooby Williams. They met with Sonny Styles, Jacob Rodriguez, C.J. Allen.
Like all the names.
Harold. Now, I have heard. What do you know about Harold Perkins? They're showing a lot of love to him. LSU. Again, kind of a small guy. Josiah Trotter, the better brother of the Trotter brothers, but I don't see nothing about them meeting with Romello Heights, which makes you wonder. It doesn't mean nothing, right? Doesn't mean anything. But official formal meetings: Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, C.J. Allen, Kendall Daniels, Harold Perkins, Jacob Rodriguez, Josiah Trotter, Scooby Williams, Caleb Banks, defensive tackle Darrell. Yeah, so that was it for now. Defensive ends. Here we go. Cassius Howell, David Bailey, Kenyon Crawford, Josh Josephs, and Danny Dennis Sutton, defensive end out of Penn State. So those were the formal meetings. So those are as far as defensively. So it'll be interesting. They've actually met with a couple guys that we like. So.
I think that Josh Joseph one could be an interesting one because when you if you look at him, I don't think I even see him in the second round, to tell you the truth. So yeah, that could be an interesting one because I think I gotta look it up because the name is very familiar at Tennessee and everything like that, but I don't remember the tape too much.
Josh Joseph. Yeah.
If you're going, what was his PFF grade on that sense?
Yeah. Josh Joseph. He's actually they have him as the 65th overall ranked player.
So yeah, beginning of third round. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. Just first look at him, he's 6'3", 240, which. That's what they're looking for. Something in the I've seen guys that they're working out.
Randy, that's a good one. Yeah.
So, Malachi Lawrence. There you go, Randy.
Yeah, from a smaller school, probably doesn't flash as much when you're looking at stuff. But I think that's another one. But I think
6'4", 250, a little bit bigger guy, a red shirt senior.
I think that Joshua Joseph sounds kind of like that's an interesting one.
And they have him rated higher, or PFF has him rated higher than Joseph's. But again, I wouldn't look into the official too much, because I think there's a smoke screen. They didn't look at. They did not look at Dylan Tiedemann. They didn't interview him, but he's an exact replica.
Yeah, you don't. Sometimes you don't.
Size
sometimes you don't need TC, right?
Yeah, I think you trust the tape. I think a guy who we could take off the board and watch, they'll draft him, but I think Akeem Messidor is not a fit for the Cowboys. I just don't think he's a fit from what I'm hearing. They want the Cassius Howell, they want the Joshua Josephs. Well, now it's funny.
The one that kind of gets me that I don't really like, but you hear is that what about Falk from Auburn? Obviously, I'm not a big fan of it, but I think that's one that you're like, could he be a guy that they're like, ooh, this is our style, even though his ranking isn't crazily high.
My thing to you is, with what they're going to play, he's 6'6", 285. He doesn't move like he's going to bully you. He'll be able to play up and down the line. He ain't standing up, though.
No.
So I don't see him as an option. Randy McIntyre. Hope you guys are doing well.
For the $2 super chat.
I know you had I know you had some surgery, so I'm hoping you're doing well. More importantly, brother.
Yeah. I had not heard about that, so I definitely hope you're doing well.
Yeah, he had surgery on his other knee.
Jesse Montanez says he wants to draft his second his backup quarterback, and he's asking how Ty Simpson is going, so he could pick him at 5. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it, Jesse. But no. Well, we hadn't. I hadn't seen him. Bryan didn't see him. He was bitching and moaning. I guess Vinny said that he did throw. So that's very interesting. When I saw the throwing earlier, I was like, oh, this is the wide receiver stuff. That's why he's not throwing. And I was like, oh no, wait, this is the quarterbacks. I guess wait, I guess he's not throwing. But again, when you put it all together, it just wouldn't make any sense for him going up there. I think if anything, you're going to hurt your draft stock by going up there. It's because he's not going to become number one. He's not going to be the first one. And I think we've kind of fallen into that category that, he could be picked just like Jackson Dart by somebody coming into that first round and grabbing him at the end. And I think that's just because Moore did his thing, right? Moore, could have been that guy that, could have helped us with that number 2 pick. But now that number 2 pick is going in a lot of different directions. I've seen Bain, I've seen Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. I've seen so many different things on that second pick. It becomes it's kind of interesting when you see those early ones. There's no definite order. Sometimes when we get into some of these drafts, we know, that's 1, 2, 3. This is what that. Yeah, I think by the time you get to the number 2 pick, I don't know what direction they're going to go. Yeah, I'm thinking they wanted it, but like I said, we'll have to see what they do in free agency. That's we keep going back to it. What do you laugh at that? Oh, Jesse, like Randy's like, yeah, they're all good. They go, screw you, Phil. That was Arturo's question. Yeah, I saw him as well, Cowboy. That's it's very interesting when you're watching these guys. Because you don't get to see the interview, so you don't get to see that and how. You just hear rumors about some of this stuff. I think some of those interview questions get ridiculously crazy. But I mean, obviously you're investing millions and millions of dollars into someone, and so I get it. I mean, if you want to play checkers with the guy, go play checkers with the guy. I don't really care. But is this something? Obviously interviews I think are a big thing because you could have some amazing film, but then sometimes I judge by some of these interviews. I understand that they're nervous and everything like that, but some of them I'm just like, and I know you should not judge a book by its cover, and I apologize for that being that person. But there's a part of me, I think we all have that little part of me. They're like, okay, you know what? Never mind. I don't think I want that guy in my locker room. You think the coaches do that as well when you hear some of these interviews?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're looking for team guys. They're looking for leaders, supposedly. And I think under Schottenheimer, they're definitely looking to go that way.
So West Virginia
West
Country Boy.
Virginia. What
Yeah.
if Love falls to 12? What if Love falls to 12?
Man. So I think
You got
to think about it. I mean, you have to really think about it. You got a running back there, but I mean, if you could always go for a Detroit type of situation where you have two running backs that you're like, we got a running back controversy. Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. We don't know what you're going to put in there. That's great. But I get it. Maybe use it to bait somebody to come up and give you a little bit more value for that pick and everything like that. So I would definitely say to use it as bait more than to grab somebody. I think, but yeah, that is very tempting bait. I think if there's any offensive guy that I would be willing to possibly just throw away that draft pick for instead of a defensive guy, it would probably be Love, right? I mean, that's kind of. I don't think there's any receiver to me that I'm like, oh, I know Mekhi Lemon is a very nice, tempting thing, but again, what happens when you eat lemons? You get, it's a little sour sometimes tasting them out. So I think that might end up being a little buyer's remorse.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyways, when you're looking at this, I'm gonna pick this because I gotta ask this in general. Is there been a wide receiver that it doesn't have to be in the first round, but has there been a wide receiver that has maybe jumped off that you've been looking at?
Yeah, Mekhi Lemon. I love Mekhi Lemon. You were talking about, or somebody brought up, if Jordan Love's there, what if you're wiped out and Mekhi Lemon's there? I mean, like, what do you do?
Well, I'm trading back.
I like him.
I'm trading back. But yeah, I would be okay with that. Again, if you're wiped out and you have to pick the best player available, then that's the best player available. Because, man, would a guy like that eat in an offense like that when you have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens on the outside, Ferguson in the middle, and him eating it at the slot? That's what we wanted.
I like Omar Cooper Jr. too.
My guy, my sleeper guy that's in the later draft, so we could possibly get him, is a guy named Bryce Lance. Bryce Lance.
Really?
Yes, he is from North Dakota State. Not the greatest competition that he went against, but when you watch him, because some of that stuff I was looking at, the quarterback, he stands 6'3", 209, being able to break tackles, get corners on him, still being able to break those tackles, breakaway type of speed. That was a guy that kind of jumped out to me. That was later in the draft, more of a reasonable thing that, like, hey, we got our two defensive guys. Oh, you know what? There's a playmaker on the board here. Yes, thank you. Exactly. What a dark horse. Watch him. Watch to see how he is. I don't know. Do you have a PFF up on him?
Who's that?
His name is Bryce Lance from North Dakota State. And I can't wait till I know I poked at him, but Dan Brugler, when he gets the beast, you're going to end up getting that. I think I'm going to turn around and get it this year just because I need to know a little bit more about some of these guys because
159 overall. Yep. 159 overall. Average draft position in mocks is 153. Let me give you some of the background. He's 6'3", 209, senior, big boy. Stats, games played last year, 13. He played 30 snaps in the slot, 279 out wide. He had 59 receptions, targeted 51 receptions, targeted 69 yards, 1,079 yards per reception, 21.2, and 8 touchdowns. Going back to 2024, he had 17 touchdowns. Similar yardage at 1,069. Average 14.3 yards a catch. Games played 16. Bryce Lance, look at you finding these diamonds in the rough. Again, back-to-back over 1,000-yard seasons. 17 touchdowns in 24 and 8 last year. But he has a better grade this year than he did the year prior. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the nice thing about it is like as I've been kind of not dabbling as much as into the second and third round guys, trying to jump further back into the draft. hoping that, I think as Jesse points out, if you could take one of those picks, kind of trade back a little bit and pick up some value in there. Obviously, we watched this combine. We all understand that there is some value there in the second and third round. And obviously, is it the best draft that we've seen? No. And I think the venue kind of points it out. Pittsburgh. I mean, all shitty as hell. So you might as well draft a shitty draft there as well. So
look at you. You're going to Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I'm not flying in. I'm flying to Philly. And then we're driving over there. So and you saw that my flight was at 3 something in the afternoon on that Saturday as well too. So we'll get out in the morning.
That's fine. Yeah. We'll get out of there. We'll hit the road on Saturday. We don't care about the third round. This is our third draft, so we'll get, we'll get our stuff together and we'll head out. About a 4.5 hour drive to the airport and drop you off and head out. Maybe grab breakfast because you don't have to be there that early. So,
no.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear. But yeah, man, definitely, that's going to be a great time.
So I expect to be able to hopefully pick some guys that we can kind of keep an eye out, see where they land. I think that was one of my gyms that kind of stood out to me. I have watched some running backs. I think what's going to be funny is I actually fell in love with a fullback.
Really?
Yes, and you know me with the fullbacks. I'm like, I get very pissed off about them. So
very interesting. Yeah, interesting.
But anyways, so the running back that I actually the fullback that I actually liked, and again, you're going to most likely be able to pick him up as a free agent, restricted free agent by this point, is of course the fullback from Navy. That one kind of pops out, but I don't see him being drafted at all. Obviously, fullback position, the value itself there, but when you look at some of this film, again, these are things that are coming across. I'm like, as you're seeing other people and you're shouting other people, things that kind of flash out to you, those are as well. I'll kind of give you some. His name is Eli. I'm gonna mess this up so bad. Heidenreich. Okay, so yeah. When you look at him,
Eli Heidenreich.
Heidenreich. See, totally messed that up.
6'2", 206 out of Navy.
See, totally messed that up.
How old is he? Navy guys are normally older. Let's see. He's 6'2", 206. He's a senior. I don't know how old he is, but I don't know his age. They're saying he's the. His rank. Where's his rank? He's the 22nd. He's ranked 241, so he'll be a free agent.
Yeah, most likely.
He'll be a free agent guy.
Yeah, fullback
so
at the end of there.
Keep an eye out for Eli Heidenreich.
Heidenreich. See, totally messed that up. Heidenreich. Yeah, I totally got that.
Heidenreich. Eli, what the F? Says
have you seen any? Have you looked at running backs at all? Has there been any kind of thing where, like, obviously we just really signed one. We got some guys sitting there in the wing. Is that something that's possibly in the back of your mind?
Not really.
No, I think Jeremiah Love is probably the only one that's a little bit of a bait, right?
Well, I mean, I could rattle them off.
I haven't watched
Jeremiah Love. Right, and then it's funny. The next rated per PFF running back is Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame. 2 Notre Dame running backs.
Oh, look at that! And he did well at the combine, right? From what I saw.
I like the Nicholas Singleton out of Penn State. I do like him. I do like Nicholas Singleton, 6'2", 224.
Yeah, I
like how
Penn
he
State's
runs.
always known for running backs, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, Le'Veon Moss from the family of Mosses, Texas A&M, but not really. I haven't dug deep. We just re-signed our running back. We have young, what's his name, out of University of Texas that was immature. Help me out with the name. Who did we draft last year, everybody?
You talking about the safety wise, or who you talking about?
No, the running back.
Oh, you're talking about Blue, Jaden Blue.
Yeah, Jaden Blue.
Blue.
So we got Jaden Blue. We got the fullback, halfback that I really love.
Hunter
Hunter Lepke. So
Well, let me
if
ask you a question.
Jeremiah loves fall, you take him. That's it. Sorry, everybody. Or you
I don't blame you.
you take a king's ransom, but he's a speedster. He's a game breaker. Look what they did in Detroit when all else fails. Okay, you have Pickens on the outside. You have Florno in the slot. You got CD, and then you got it's good luck.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question because, like, as you're talking offense, I want to kind of switch the ball to the defensive side. Start talking a little bit in the sense of what is there in the defensive edge. We talked about edge rushers in the sense of Cash's how something goes. We're not very excited, but you're not very excited about a TJ Parker. I like TJ Parker in the sense of you're trading back from 20, getting some value there, and then you're picking a guy like that up. I am definitely okay with that. But when you look at this, I want to ask you a question when it comes to the defensive line, like, because there are some prospects in this draft that look like they could contribute very well in the interior defensive part of the line. Is this an option going into this draft with what you have already in there in the sense of the three that you have there, what you have backup wise going there? Is defensive interior an option for you?
Like, so you're telling me Woods is there, right? I would not take Woods at 12. No. I'm not taking interior at 12.
Okay.
If you're saying at 20?
Well, let's say for example you trade back. Let's say you trade back, you have stuff, and you have somebody sitting there in the second round. And I'm not saying a guy that just all of a sudden drops, but like if you're looking at a second, is that even an option in your mind? Are there too many other needs and too many other talents in those other positions to be like, hey, I can easily say, well, yeah, we have the talent over here as well, but we have a need over here.
Yeah. You have to. I mean, if Woods, who some people have dropping into the second round.
Thank you, Jim.
Even at like 29, let's say you drop down with the Rams and you've already taken one player and you got Peter Woods staring at you. At some point, you got to take them. I would see them going with offensive tackle at that point.
Ooh, yes.
Or guard like a Monroe Freeling. Now we could talk about that. Do you like Monroe Freeling out of Georgia? We're hearing a lot of buzz about him, but he's awful tall.
He's a tall guy and he moves tall. But he's a big dude.
You know what that means, everybody, when you say you move tall?
Yeah,
that means you get speed rushers. He looks horrible at times.
Yeah. And he's trying to bend, but it's just kind of not there. But there's a lot of raw talent there. But again, he was really good at putting his body in front of people. So I did like seeing his tape. So because there was a point in there where I was looking at the offensive tackles, and I think I really, and people may disagree with me, but I kind of put Fano and him. I put Fano, Proctor as well too. Oh yeah, so I mean Proctor, a bigger guy.
Like he reminds me of Freeling. Freeling's probably a little better, more.
I would say Fano and him are very there. I was even looking at again Lomu, Caleb Lomu from Utah. Lomu.
Lomu. And
I was looking at him as well too. There was a guy further down.
Hunter?
They're further down that I like. His name is Bryan Parker the second, junior, obviously, from Duke. That was a guy that I was looking at. I was like, okay, if you're trading back and you're trying to get stuff and you're able to pick up a guy like that, again, that's not a terrible pick. But again, he's not your. I don't know if he's that guy. I think he's very, very equal to what maybe Guyton was coming out.
Yeah, I'm looking at offensive tackle. Let me see here. Bryan Parker. They have him at 119. Bryan Parker.
So what, fourth round?
6'5", 305. A lot better. Again, just be careful of the 6'7" guys. I mean, that's what we're dealing with, like Phil said. Those speed rushers will eat you alive. If you want, I'll take a big guy, in the big
wingspans. I mean, that's the nice thing about that.
But this guy's 6'5", 305. And he's just going by metrics, 13 games played, 902 offensive snaps, only allowed 3 sacks and 2 quarterback hits. So, again, not a bad name to bring up. See, Phil was actually a little deeper than I am with some of the more, not obscure, but lesser guys. And, again, you don't need to you can get it. or I could just make you a copy. I get the Beast, so
That's
but
awesome.
and I could
and again, I give
or I can
I
give you
give
access
Dane
to
I
it.
give
I
Dane
can
so much shit,
email it
but
to you.
he interviews very well. He knows what he's talking about, man.
I
That
can
guy-
email you the Beast and then you
Thank
print
you.
it out. But yeah, it's not released yet. But
Yeah, next
the
month.
Beast is good.
Or
Again,
April, right?
he does all the legwork to a ad nauseum rate. But then you then sift through it and find the guys that you like, and it's definitely a must have when you're watching the draft. If you guys are able to, I use it, and he's on the money, man. Dane is on the money.
He is. And that's you remember me. I there's something that irritates me, but I cannot devalue his ability. I mean, he has an amazing ability to scout it and know exactly where they're going to kind of fall. You gotta respect a guy like that, I think. Another guy that I saw when it comes to the offensive tackles that have been talked to in that sense is Austin Barber from Florida.
Yeah,
That's another one that I've seen. I've seen him. I don't think his tape was amazing the previous year. I think he had a pretty good one this past year, because this type of football, like Florida, Florida State, Miami, all those stuff, living in Florida, these things get thrown onto the TV, usually number one, so you get to watch a lot of these guys, the running game and stuff like that. So to watch him, I thought he did very well. I don't know what they have maybe in that sense of him, because I think when you look at some of those are the two tackles that I was thinking about when it came to Florida, the teams, because even with Florida State, they just look really bad.
Yeah.
Look really bad.
Yeah, Florida State was not. They were almost as bad as LSU.
Yes,
they were worse. Yeah.
I say they were very
Still,
much worse.
O-line player at Penn State is good. Yeah, Ione.
Oh yes, Ione. Yes, when you watch him, like, man, like that would be a guy that I'm like, I would willing to pay Tyler Smith a little bit more money to go kick to the outside to put him in there. And that'd be an okay move. If ever you're wiped out and you end up going with a guy like that, yeah, that's a great one. O-line, I think I wouldn't even blame if you drop back from your position and picked him up a little bit later. Especially with what you have and what you're needing in that sense of you got to protect Dart, I think, and you got to tell him to protect himself too. I think that's another thing as well. But as we were talking about, I wanted to switch over to the defensive side of the ball, as well as you're talking about the defensive ends and stuff. I think we talked a little bit about some of these linebackers. Is there any other linebacker that maybe jumps out to you that doesn't get any recognition?
Let's see here. Well, like I did tell you that Harold Perkins Jr., Dallas is showing a lot of love to him. He's 167 ranked, so it's not like he's a high-ranking guy. There's another guy that I thought was coming out last year, Lander Barton out of Utah. I don't know how he fits. He's 6'5", 240. Don't think he really fits. But there's a Scooby Williams that Dallas worked out, had a personal interview, 6'2", 230. Kind of in that mold out of Texas A&M, who he probably won't get drafted. He'll be a free agent. So again, I think if you can give me C.J. Allen or Jacob Rodriguez, I would be ecstatic.
I think I think once you pass like 3 or 4 of them, I think that's the level definitely drops quite a bit.
Now, Kid Cowboy likes the Cincinnati guy. Like, what's your thought?
Oh, you're talking about Jake, right? Jack or something. Yeah. When you look at his film, I mean, he's in the right spot. He's, his hands. He needs to kind of work on that shit a little bit. But I mean, plays. That's why he plays defense, right? But no, I
6'4", 240.
Yeah, I definitely
physical beast.
Yeah,
red shirt senior. He'll play at 23.
Second rounder, right?
Yeah. That's what 50s.
I think
basically.
Do they have him? My question is, do they have him in front of Jacob Rodriguez, right?
51 on the big board.
Okay.
Yes, he's ahead of he's ahead of Rodriguez.
Okay, and I would probably put them there as well too. I think just that size and body kind of helps him out as well.
I would want Rodriguez over him.
Yes, I would as well too. Another linebacker that I like as I'm watching my Ducks on is Bryce. There was a Bryce Botet. Man, again, I apologize for
Botcher,
the
Botcher,
Botcher,
Boettcher, Bryce Botcher, yeah, Oregon, 6'2", 232. Again, that's the body type that they're looking for. That's Harold Perkins Jr., a Bryce Bot. Again, these are close. Again, don't ask me why. I guess that's what the defense requires. It'll be interesting. But with that defensive line, I think we can get away with it. And they're going to be playing a lot of 5-man fronts, more of a gap scheme. I'm just excited about something different. I truly am. And it seems like all the players are just ecstatic when they talk to Christian Parker. They're all excited. Even if you've never met him before, they're freaking excited.
That's understandable.
So, yeah.
Well, I want to point out one more thing on the defense, because we talked about safeties and stuff like that, but I know we talked about corners a little bit. I think the names that we've been talking about, of course, are those first-round draft pick ones. But let's say, for example, we decide, we're going to go linebacker. They go, they trade back or whatever like that. They get their, pass rusher. They get a linebacker. Now you're looking at possibly as a corner that's not a first-round or so pick. Is there a guy that stands out to you later on that you're like, okay, like, I wouldn't say you're going to be extremely satisfied with, because let's be real. I mean, there is some iffy people going beyond the second round, but we understand our abilities in the second round for corners. Is there anybody that sticks out to you that you'd be interested in, second round and on?
Yeah, there's a couple guys I'd
agree too.
And yeah, I like Keontae Scott out of Miami. Okay,
had a good year.
Like him. Keontae Scott.
I think it definitely helped that he had
He's not the
pass
biggest
rush.
guy.
Yeah.
He's 6'1", 194. He's not the biggest guy, but he can. I almost think he can play nickel. I like his versatility. Not the biggest guy.
I think right after that,
name?
yes, you got. Yeah, I know you're going to go with it. You got to go. I think I liked him in the combine and seeing what he was doing. I liked him in the playoffs as well too. D'Angelo Pons. I think that's another one that definitely stood out when it came. And it's not like he had the 1 year that was good. His previous years there were good as well too. So when it comes, and Pons, Rivers, I think Randy, I think you're hitting it right there, man. Rivers is the guy that I keep hearing talk about. I have not watched him as well too, but I've been hearing really
Rivers,
good.
Another small guy, not very big, 5'10", 185. Pons is 5'7".
Yep. 5'9". I see 5'9" on my board.
Yeah. I have a name for you. He's a second round guy. Do you know anything about Colton Hood? Because I believe that the name is heating up a little bit. Do you like Colton Hood out of Tennessee?
When I was watching the Tennessee stuff, most of it was the pass rushing. So most of it I got wasn't a whole lot of passing that was happening. But when when I did see, I think they didn't really test his side a whole lot. I mean, what was his stats when it was coming in? That I saw. Did we see that? Let's see. 12 games, pass defenses. It was 28 receptions against him on 52 targets. Okay.
Yeah.
318 yards. He only allowed 1 TD, but also goes. See, I think that's where it goes to show. I mean, he played defensive snaps 774, and he was targeted 52 times. I think that's where it shows that he was able to kind of they weren't throwing to his side of the field. And I think that has to say a lot.
Yeah. Just looking at some of the names here, some I don't know at all. I brought up Jalen Kilgore before. I don't know if he's going to be a safety or a corner. I'm not real sure. Out of South Carolina, he does offer some size. Again, 6'1", 211. He's a junior. He's 21. He's young. I like what I saw in the combine with some of his measurables. He has 380 coverage snaps. He gave up 34 catches on 65 targets. So he gave up 2 TDs, or he had 2 TDs and he had 2 INTs. So, I don't know. I like Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina just as a measurable type of guy, but you're talking 154 in the 150s, so you're talking 5th round where those comp picks come into play.
Michael Rizzo.
So you're looking at traits at that point, right? That's what you're looking at.
Yep, I agree. You are, because you need to be able to fill it out. What are we asking these corners to do?
You don't want traits in round 1 or 2 or 3, but or 1 and 2. After that, you're not getting a clean player, right, Phil? You got to look at something.
Yes, you're gonna have negatives, you got positives, exactly, and you got to use them right. Michael Rizzo says, and I agree with this one.
Mike?
He goes, I meant to say the defensive back from San Diego State. It was San Diego State. I know you're talking about Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
That one was the one that I still need to watch his film. I know when it comes
195.
When it comes to hearing what was out there, I hear that he had amazing
4
tape.
INTs this year.
It sounds like he had an amazing tape. When you look at he played 634 snaps. Coverage snaps were 349, and he was targeted 43. 18 receptions,
18. Yep,
and
18.
only and 0 touchdowns. That's impressive. 4 interceptions. That's
0
very
touchdowns, 4 INTs. Yes, he had a 91.6 overall grade. So good name, Chris Johnson. His size isn't.
But I mean, that's what you're getting in a lot of these corners, right? I mean, it seems like
that's what I'm saying. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Everybody seems like
5'11",
even the best. Mansour Delane is 6 foot, right, Phil? I mean,
I saw that he was
6
somewhere on there. They were showing that he was
200.
5'11", I think, at some point too. But yeah, 6 foot.
Yeah,
6 foot is what they show.
Guys, just everybody stop with the hype. I could see us taking Delane because of the connection. I would not be upset if he's taken in the top 10.
The size, I would like a bigger corner, obviously, but like when you come to the size, like I have a great feeling because like I really was a big fan of Jordan Lewis, and being a being an undersized kind of guy, he still was on the hip of those receivers, causing you've seen some of these key interceptions that he was having. If you can get a guy like that, I mean, I shouldn't really matter. I think Delane, that's the parts that I do like about his film.
Phil?
What's up?
I don't really trust these guys early on. Like, I don't trust Delane. I don't trust McCoy. So I'd rather go with studs. I want somebody to drop to.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you traded back,
Styles,
what do you think
or
about
an Allen?
Avion? Are you a big
Avion Terrell? I like him probably better than the other two, but I'm not taking him at 12. I like Terrell. That's the thing. He's a smaller guy. Dude, I just love how he plays. I just want a stud linebacker, a stud pass rusher. You could get away with taking a Scott or somebody a little later, or like a Chris Johnson. You can get away with that. I don't need to take. I'm actually hoping Delane gets picked in the top 10. He's not a shutdown guy. He's good. He's not Now, Brandon Cisse is interesting, says Jimbo. Again, Cisse, a little bit bigger, doesn't knock my socks off. I just love other players in that range. I just do. Obviously, Arvell Reese, Styles, C.J. Allen, Dylan Thieneman. I like the receivers better there. I just want impact. I don't know. Is Bill, how good is he? How old is Delane? Like, am I wrong? He's not a shutdown corner.
No, but I mean, as a prospect, I do like his body of work. Again, I always feel very hesitant. Like I don't ever like picking corners in the first because I think those type of positions. But I understand if you're going to pick somebody, pick it there because those are the guys that you would normally pay a big amount of money to. So you're getting that value, right? So that's great, but again, Morris Claiborne is always the guy that kind of pops out to me.
All right. So if I said, again, if I said Delane and Hal or Thieneman and C.J. Allen, I
would go Thieleman, C.J. Allen. I would love that.
Yeah. So, and you didn't get your edge rusher, but who knows?
That's okay.
We don't know what they're doing in free agency. You could, I don't know, guys. Or if C.J. Allen's gone, you drop back, you get an edge rusher. I don't know. I wouldn't be upset. I'm hoping that Delane goes to Miami at 11 or something, and somebody drops to us.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm hoping for.
Well, a lot of the stuff that was happening, I think we got very fortunate to get the 20th pick with how that kind of playoffs was kind of forming up. If Micah had stayed healthy, I think that would have definitely been in the 26, 27 range. So to be able to already be ahead and kind of have that room to be able to fall back a little bit, again, I think it's just going to be hard to find that partner, unless somebody's dropping. I think that's going to be everybody's kind of on the same page. Yeah, again, we don't know what the NFL teams are thinking, though. I mean, they could love a guy at 30 and like, look, man, I really got to get up there and get this guy, or I really got to get up there and get to 20 because I want to be able to get a chance at the safety from Oregon that he hasn't gone yet, or something like that. So maybe they're valuing a tight end that. Sometimes those are the shock ones, right? The tight end all of a sudden goes in the teens, and you're like,
definitely.
whoa, okay, there we go. But nobody blames them for taking him at that position because they saw the combine. They saw his tape as well, too. So, it's going to be interesting. A little shakeup on the board. Yeah, we'll shake the board up soon. I think that is a big one as well, too. Once everybody starts, picking up what they need. But then I think that's the opposite as well, too. When you pick up these young guys, then you start to release some of these guys. You're like, okay, well, we had this backup plan, and we're able to get a main guy. Now we can kind of like walk away from this plan that we had originally.
Right. Definitely.
So,
definitely.
In Cowboy news, when you were watching this, have you been watching some? Obviously, you've had to be watching some of these interviews that have been happening at the combine. With obviously Shoddy and the defensive coordinator Parker, and then you got Steven and Jerry doing their thing. Anything that stands out to you in the sense of what they're talking about?
Well, yeah, it was interesting when they interviewed Christian Parker and they asked him about his Eagle people. You could tell we're getting at least one Eagle guy, so just get ready for that. But what stood out to me was the style of defense that they want to play. They are going to want to play. It's not going to be a traditional 3-4 because people say, well, you don't have the bodies to play. Well, I think this is a perfect year to go to a 3-4. But what did they excel at last year? They excelled at 5-man fronts. I'm liking what I'm hearing, that they love the defensive linemen. And we're hearing that they really like Leofau, and they want to use Leofau more stand-up outside linebacker. What's your thought on that?
I like the way that, like, immediately I think that he's undersized, but when you watch him play, he doesn't seem to use that as an excuse. He just balls. So getting your hands on him and keeping your hands on him, and he's really good at shedding those tackles, even when it is a bigger body as well, too. So I want to immediately criticize it, but man, it makes sense to me. I mean, you kind of want him to start to kind of be free a little bit and start to run people down from behind and that type of stuff. But again, you're going to have to deal with some big bodies. So over the course of the season, will that wear him down if he's getting a lot of snaps there? I think that's going to be a big, huge question.
They're saying he's going to put on a little weight, and obviously Donovan Easy-Azaraco, they love him in the same similar role. So again, you may have more linebackers on the team already than what we may be giving them credit for. What's up, Arturo?
Yeah, we all agree that maybe we need one guy that fills in that role because you maybe don't have that one guy. But as for, I think when you're looking at linebackers, your main focus definitely needs to be the interior middle part of that linebacking core. Especially as you move people around, Overshown, nothing against him, but we all talk about his health and being able to stay healthy. But you need somebody to complement him as well as soon as he's out there. I mean, they both can't be guys that are just shooting to the ball all the time, So not that that's a bad thing. Again, as I say that, it kind of sounds ridiculous too, because of course I want my linebackers to be shooting towards the ball, but you need somebody with coverage, right? And how do you feel about Overshown in coverage sometimes,
Yeah, and we heard Steven and Jerry say they just want him to get healthy. It's like, okay. Yeah, obviously. This is they put up a year for him. He needs to have a big year. How does he fit in the scheme? I don't know. What I do know is that there seems to be encouragement, and they like Marquise Bell, but he's going to get run. And I'm curious to see where Wanye Thomas fits in. I think there's a good chance Malik Hooker is gone. What's the chat think about Hooker being gone? I don't think Hooker's going to be back. Donovan Wilson is gone. So it's going to be a whole revamped the safety room with a coach who values the safety. That is a breath of fresh air for me. Seems like Dallas Cowboys have not valued safety in a long time.
Yeah, once they,
Right.
I mean, there was a big chunk of time where we were constantly complaining. And then once they got Malik Hooker, they got a couple of other ones as well. Yeah, they kind of just stopped, I think, by that point. Drafted a guy here and there. And they've had some guys. I mean, we talk about Bell and what he's done. And then we talk about Clark. I think Clark did pretty well on his rookie year for not really getting a whole lot of safety play. Mostly it was all special teams. But there were some times where he shined on special teams as well, too. That hit where he's being taken out of the play. He goes down there, causes the fumble. Yeah. There's been times where he kind of flashes as well too. So if you have a coach like that's been doing his work and prepping and stuff like that, yeah, I think he's going to be ability to add him as well into that mix. But when you look at the rest of his game, will he be able to elevate that to an NFL type of level? Obviously the safety position last year was a big, huge weakness with miscommunication, causing a lot of things over the top. The one thing that you should never do is allow stuff over the top, and everything should keep in front of you, even if it is huge chunks. You just saw so many times. I mean, right off the bat, you had Russell Wilson looking like the Super Bowl year where he was just tossing touchdowns left and right, for 500 yards or whatever. So, I think we need to definitely go out there and spend on free agency, but I'm just more curious of what's going to be out there because I'm still very unsure of what's going to actually be available.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where they go at linebacker. We think we know, but we don't really know. We need an edge rusher. We need somebody who can sack the quarterback, especially if we're talking about moving all these guys to linebacker. We're going to need somebody. Is it Clowney? Does Clowney fit now or no?
I don't know. I'm hearing that he doesn't now, right? Mark Hudson with the $10 super chat says, just because. And I'm pretty sure you put a little emoji thing there that didn't want to show up and stuff, so I apologize on that.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're a very big supporter of our channels as well, too, so definitely appreciate it. And your input as well.
Thanks, Mark.
Yes, thank you. Anything else you want to talk about with this draft and stuff like that, or where we're going to go?
Not much, man. Again, now we've seen them run around in tights. We've seen who elevated. We've seen who maybe didn't elevate. I don't think there's too many guys that did horribly. Again, I think it's more about the stuff we don't know, guys, and that is the medical. I keep going back to Peyton Wilson. We didn't know until after the draft that he didn't have an ACL, and he had a hell of a year with the Steelers. So at NC State, the linebacker. So
playing out there in booty shorts and shit.
Yeah. So we don't know. I think the important part of the combine is for certain guys to show how they measure up athletically, but more importantly, it's the medicals. We don't know that. We won't know until the draft. Now it's all about free agency. Believe it or not, Phil, it's a little over a week away before free agency starts. Dallas already cleared $66 million this morning by restructuring Dak. Just automatic switches on Dak, Tyler Smith, and another player. Are they going to get a deal done with Quinnen? Are they going to get a deal done with...
I'm hearing that. I'm hearing the three are going to be a restructuring. And I know, Chris, you're not informed, but I love those three guys.
They need to do a new deal. Yeah.
They need to extend them out and stuff like that and kind of really get this correct. I'm for all those three guys being your main three in this type of defense because
that would be impressive, brother. If they trade back at 12 and 20, that would be impressive.
That would, and you would definitely be able to pick up a lot of capital. And I think again, if you're wiped out at 12, I think that's a big, huge thing. And maybe you're wiped out, but another team is not wiped out, so you're able to trade back a little bit, even on both picks. I would not be against it as long as you're picking up some valuable people at the position that you're going at. I mean, whether you get somebody at 12 or you get somebody at 23, I think, are they impactful for our team? I think that's just got to be the bigger question. And I think with what you had there compared to what you possibly could have there, I think it's got to be an elevation,
Yeah, definitely.
So, Brian, I really like how we're going, but what were you going to say right there?
Nothing. Just I would say the next time we go live, maybe we should do a little mock draft and see after more of the information comes in. Maybe we do some mocks the next time we go live together. That would be fun.
Yeah, definitely can. I think by that point too, I think the
more leaves will fall.
Yeah, I think there you go. Thank you. I was trying to go in a different direction of that, but I think that's the perfect analogy in that sense. That they did fall.
More
a little
information
bit there.
will come out. And,
the ones that we were like, oh, I really, really like this guy. Then you're gonna turn around, and you find out that like I got a turtle all my life. It's like So yeah, there's just things that we don't have available to us. I think we can only kind of pick our particular team that what we think is valuable to them. But I think that's what we're still trying to figure out. You hear the scouts talk about picking up these guys, where Will McClay picking up these certain particular guys that are going to be able to play, zone and man coverage and stuff. Like, well, man, you should have been doing that shit from the beginning. Let's be real, man. So to me, it's not a change. It's just, getting that particular guy that he likes as well, too, into this draft. So, Brian, how are we looking for next week? I'm not even sure. Everything good?
I don't know. We'll play it by ear. We're at I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. It would be nice to do a show because that would be leading into free
agency. I think that might be a good one.
Monday.
I like that. Maybe focus it around free agency.
So, I mean, if we got to move it around a day or an hour or whatever to get it in, I think that's what we do.
Okay.
But it would be good to get one more in before a free agency. And I think we're in for a treat. I don't think we're the only team that's in for a treat. I think the Eagles may actually do something.
Yeah, Washington will have some shit.
Washington is going to do stuff. They got a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Giants don't have much money, but Harbaugh, new regime. I think
there were some guys that were being
Linderbaum
released on those two teams that made you kind of like made me turn my head a little bit. So Mark Hutchinson with $5 says, "Please don't draft McCoy." So that's to me. I would agree on that one. I would definitely agree because of the lack.
Can't afford it, Mark.
No,
I can't afford it. Again, I would much rather not take a corner in the first round, Phil, and then get the Chris Johnson or one of those guys. I would be fine with that. That's where I'm at, guys. Okay, if you're giving me Delane, fine. He is a pretty clean prospect. He doesn't do anything great, but he's not great. But I'm not here to hammer him. Whatever. We need a corner, so that would be a cheap way to get one.
Yep. I agree, man. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be continued on this because obviously this is where the good stuff gets. I really love the offseason and just building the team and seeing the direction because obviously you got a little bit of hope. But one thing I appreciate everybody forgetting not to do is
ring that bell, everybody.
All right, man. Everybody take care and thank you for tuning in. And thank you for the super chat, guys. Peace.
All right. Hey. All right. Good job, guys. Let's just not come in tomorrow. Let's just take a day.
Talking prime rib in bed. I'm using a blanket as a napkin. That's fancy. That's fancy.
Real fancy.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I think we handled that with dignity.
Free candy!
Johnny loves Chachi.